Okay, I'm recording now. I was recording this, and turns out my mic wasn't even on the whole time. It happens. But anyway, so what I was saying is, luckily, it was only about 3 minutes, and I am pressed for time, so I am actually recording episode 10, the finale of Original Sin. Before I'm recording episode 9, I just recorded episode 8, and I really, really wanted to do episode 10 and do a commentary for it. This might actually be the first episode I post because the first three, four episodes of the show, my commentaries were a bit odd, they're a bit off. Wasn't exactly sure what kind of direction I wanted to go in as I was doing the recording, so it's kind of choppy. And one of the episodes, I fell asleep. So, but for this one, Um, I really want to be present for this episode. I really want to be alone for this episode while I have the chance because I enjoyed it so much. I really, really enjoyed this show. I'm watching the previously on right now, but I really did enjoy the show. I was hoping that I was wondering if they were going to do a previously on Dexter Original Sin, but I was wondering if they were going to do that or if they were just going to start off with a teaser of when Dexter was in the hospital and he got shot and everything. That joke still cracks me up. A heartbeat, I'll take it. It's a serial killer joke. Anyway, so yeah, I might actually post this episode first, for Original Sin, episode 10, simply because, ooh, that stab to the. I'll talk about that when I do episode 9. But I love that syringe in the hand. But I might actually post this episode first because when I did my recording for episode 1 through like 3, maybe 4, I wasn't entirely sure what I wanted to do, what direction I wanted to go in as I did my audio recording. So, um, it was kind of choppy, and I was like, I didn't know exactly what to do or what to say. And so it was a little rough getting through the first few episodes. I wasn't entirely sure if I wanted to post any of them, but we'll see. So I think I will actually post episode 10 right now first. And now we have the opening. Um oh right. So if this is the first time someone's actually watching this or listening to this, I watch TV shows usually with my wine glass filled with sweet tea. But I'm watching episode 10 and I'm actually recording myself as I'm watching the episodes. I've bothered my family and my friends enough over the years. Um, they would be trying to watch a movie or watch a TV show, and I just talk over it. So I was like, why don't I just record it, share it with the world? But yeah, I'm watching the intro right now. They're mixing up the eggs and putting hot sauce with eggs. I don't know if I've ever had hot sauce with eggs before. I'll have to try that out. Anyway, I love this show. I love the show. I love what they did with it in so many ways. I'm trying not to nerd out too much because I'm just very, I guess, analytical, and in my aging process, my brain has just looked at things and taken art in different ways. I'm so critical about it now, and I hate that. Code Blues. So, oh, I should probably turn the subtitles on. I'm watching this on mute, so they're the subtitles. Cool. Yeah, that head on on the ground. Very disturbing. Just the look on her face, the look of the head, the emotion that the head tells. This is the story and the emotion that that the head tells. It. I look at it and it just it. I feel a story there, and I feel like I want to somehow express it in some strange way. This is a very dark, very disturbing imagery, but you got to go for it. You just got to do what you got to do. But watching this show really makes me want to step up my game as a writer. I love this woman that has the scar on her face. I don't know if it's her as an actor, but she very much gives old time vibes, 70s, 60s, 50s, maybe housewife type vibes, you know. There was just a certain look, there was a certain body image, there, just a certain look that women at that time had, and she does it very well. She has this look in her eyes of disconnection, this look in her eyes as if there was something magical inside of her, but somehow it's missing, somehow it's gone. And now she just kind of acts on instinct now for the rest of her life. And she has that powerful look in her eyes. So I love her as an actress in this sense of she's just kind of going through life with a broken dream, finding a sense of peace within that broken dream, a type of not peace, but a coping. So when they did this voiceover, I was actually hoping that they did the adult Brian voiceover. That would have been amazing if they did that. If they got, Dexter was doing the voiceover when he um Dexter does the voiceover for Original Sin for young Dexter. So it would have been nice to have adult Brian talking about it. But I think that may have been confusing to the fans because they're like, who is he talking to? But it would have been nice to just have adult Brian's voice and have him talk, and then maybe his voice shift into younger Dexter, and then it shows that he's telling the story. But it would have been nice to have adult Brian. And yeah, this poor kid, he's a troubled kid, and he's yeah gone through so much. My mother, my brother, my freedom. Yeah, this kid's gone through some real trauma. Why does he look like Ethan Hawke? Raul. Yeah, the villains, the people, done some messed up stuff in the past. You know, they're just the criminals were just a different breed. So when you see this orderly, doing the drugs for money type deal with the guard, that's like, yeah, that's something that's an 80s, 90s villain would do. Villain. And there's Brian in his anger. Gosh, he's just punching this dude out. But it really does show where Brian is mentally. Like his outbursts, his rage, his just he's like at the peak of his mentality, not the peak, but like he's at the edge of like, his mental state. And it's just like he's just at this point become a vessel of what it is he's gone through, you know? And he's just trying to just living with it. I like that the therapist is black. Not because I'm black, but because like Dexter's therapist was black in New Blood. So right here, when Brian says, the guy says he's a trigger for you, and he says, I can handle it. He says, no, you can't. That is the worst feeling in the world. That is the worst feeling in the world to just have someone tell you what you can and can't handle. For someone to just tell you hey, I know that you really, really want this thing in life, but I'm your gatekeeper. And no, um, just to hold that key for of your life from you, hold that from you. That is like the worst feeling ever in the world, to feel hopeless and powerless in the sense of this is your life, this is your existence, this is all that you have, and just to have another human being sit here, look you in the face, and tell you no, you can't have the keys to your own life, you can't have the keys to your own freedom. It's horrible, it's awful. And I really do see that, really do feel that in that moment. Yeah, I've been, ugh, it's just rough having someone else hold the fate of your desire, your happiness in their hands, and they feel like, you know, their feelings dictate you and your life and so yeah, Brian is like, I've been doing all of this. He really focused, he really did work on being better for the sake of his brother. He wanted to be better for his brother. He wants to see his brother. He just wants to be whole again. That's all he wants. And he's told no. So he's like, okay, well, time to take matters into my own hands now. Cause like I tried to do it the right way and I've been told no. So, it's crazy. But anyway, there's the Pontiac, the car that was sold to the beautiful black family that unfortunately LaGuerta and Harry seized. I want to say that this shot of the highway looks like archive footage, at least for that shot, but I don't think it is. I feel like I've seen it on an episode of Seinfeld. But yeah, I love that how they explored Brian's character in this scene, in that scene. So now Dexter's tailing our boy Spencer. I can't wait to get this soundtrack. I really hope they release it. I remember when they wait, did that say two different kinds of music on the commentary or the subtitles? It had like two different genres of music playing between the subtitles, but I think it's the same song that was playing. But yeah, I remember when season 8 of Dexter came out, and I was like, "Oh man, the production's over. We're not gonna get that season 8 soundtrack." And they gave it to us, and I was like, "Yes!" And it had 3 live songs with Daniel Licht. I was excited. And then when New Blood came out, the music was so just dry and dead and just dark. And I was like, "There's no way they're gonna release this," and they did. I got that right away. So hopefully they release Original Sin soundtrack. Can't wait to buy it. Add it to my collect. Add it to the collection. Bobby. Hope Bobby makes it. It's funny. I was actually thinking about this movie called Four Brothers, and this kid, one of the actors was yelling "Bobby" after getting shot at. And it was just playing in my head all week, and then Bobby gets shot in Original Sin. It's like, huh, it's interesting. Night mi amore. Don't try to do anything too exciting until that is something that I would I would say to one of my friends or something. I have a messed up sense of humor. That's something I would say. Don't do anything too exciting now. I'd I'd be a messed up person. Well, I've learned how to really embrace dark humor. Um, it really does help with life. It helps, getting through life a lot easier. And here's LaGuerta. Harry's like, I just told Missy I was gonna stay with Bobby. He's like, it's important. It's important, Harry. Hurry. Hurry, Harry. But I'm glad Bobby. I like this scene because to me it feels like a reminder of what happened with Dexter and brother Sam and just what that scene represented. And I really feel that powerful sense of friendship. And now that she gives Barb Plimpton's name to Harry, Harry's putting the pieces together. He's like, "Yeah, I figured it was the person that did all these killings. I had a feeling it was B. Moser," and basically just got his confirmation right here. But yeah, I love this hospital scene. Reminds me of Dexter and Brother Sam, which I hope they bring Brother Sam back. There was no confirmation that he died. The doctor talked to one of his homies, and he looked like he was sad or crying. And Dexter was like, "That's it. Brother Sam is gone." But we never got confirmation. At least not that I remember. Because after Brother, yeah, not that I remember. But I have a feeling Brother Sam's still alive. He just is on a different path from Dexter. And in his character, he knows that. So he's just staying away for now. But I think Brother Sam needs to come back and finish his job and give Dexter some friends. Dexter needs friends. It would have been cool if all the protagonists of the past Dexter shows made like a little group or a cult. Like, I could see Miguel and Lila just fighting with each other all the time, all the time if they ever met. Oh my gosh! So right here, Dexter is smashing all the pans and he's yelling for Spencer. I love that. I love that Will versus Will type mentality here. Dexter is not hiding. It's just straight like, yo, this isn't a game. It's you versus me. I need you to know it's you versus me. But also at the same time, he probably doesn't know what's going on with Nikki or what's going to happen. So Dexter has to keep Spencer's attention on Dexter, on him, so that way Spencer doesn't, kill Nikki while Dexter's trying to be sneaky and find out, oh, where is he? Where is he? And then Dexter, oh, okay, that's the show that went black. I was like, no, what happened? Yeah, so that would make sense. So I love how the chase is on. It's not just suspense of Dexter sneaking all day. It's actually Dexter's making himself known that he's here. I love that line from Asuka. A big boy crime scene. Oof. Same with that headless body. There's just something in the eyes that tells a story. It's like in those last moments, she saw something, and whatever that thing was that she saw, was embedded within her very DNA, within her very soulless body. And it's just what I see. I know it's a fake head, but like I feel a real energy, a real presence when I see it. And I really do feel like TV shows are glimpses into alternate universes or worlds. But we don't talk about that. Ouch. Where's Morgan? You know, okay, so yeah, now Harry's chasing. So this boat right here, this ship, it was weird. In my past commentaries, I actually didn't mention it, but I had a feeling that they were on a ship. That's where the killer was on a ship. Only because I played this game called Man of Medan, I believe, and I saw the basement area of the ship and everything, and you explore the ship, and just the way that everything looked and the way the room looked, it looked familiar, like I was playing Man of Medan. So part of me knew that they were on a ship, but I just never thought to bring it up. And then when I saw, oh, it's a ship, I was like, oh, okay, my instincts are right then. Ouch! It hit to the gut with the fire extinguisher. Don't worry, Dexter. It's just like 3 ribs. You got like what, 30 more or something? I don't know how many ribs the human body has. Oh yeah, these two, I love their fight with each other. I love the oh well, he's letting water in. I love I guess the twist or whatever of the villain of this villain Spencer. What I love about him, oh, those were actually some good effects. I think that that water is digital. It looks digital, but they did a great job with it. With it. Boom, knocks off the little handle. That looked digital also, but I've just seen so many just between watching Saw movies and just yeah, I have my eyes are just weird. And here's Dexter talking to him. Look, I get rage, but there's a better way to handle it. And Dexter's actually getting into desperation. Oh, and this poor kid is chained. Like, man, these writers, they're just that was amazing that these writers um are upping the stakes and just how creative the writing is. So now he says, "What are you gonna do? Are you gonna come for me, or go or come for the kid? What kind of monster are you?" And Dexter just goes straight for the kid and doesn't realize he's chained. And it's like, oh snap! Now Dexter has to go down there. Dexter is a smarter, more patient man than me because if I was in the situation, I honestly would have probably broken the broken the kid's foot. Honestly, I would have just probably broken the kid's foot and just forced it through the chain and then pulled him up. But the fact that Dexter gets the pipe and does his thing, I wouldn't be I don't think I'd be able to do that. I'd be like, this kid will heal. But hey, why does my screen keep going black? Anyway, and I love that. I love how Dexter gives him mouth to mouth like that, really showing. I think showing that Harry taught him that if someone's drowning or something, to give mouth to mouth underwater. Um, so Harry, I believe taught Dexter that, and Dexter passed that on to save Nikki. So I love that redemption story arc or whatever that between Harry and his son, how that cycle repeated itself in such a way, and as Dexter was able to break that cycle. And I also love how Patty has the Dexter shirt on, a similar Dexter shirt onto his kill shirt, and his little tight. And now here's Deb in the hospital with our boy Bobby. I was saying earlier, I like the villain Spencer, what he represents. I love how Spencer is like, I guess, not sure Nikki was. Okay, so I like how Dexter has to choose when he says, "What kind of monster are you?" And then Dexter has to choose between, is he going to save the kid or is he going to go after Spencer? And in that moment, Dexter chooses to go after to save Nikki. By Dexter actually choosing Nikki, that actually says a lot about his character and who he actually is, and the motivation for why he does what he does. Him choosing to save Nikki over going after Spencer actually puts Dexter in the path of choosing life to save innocent lives versus having the motivation to kill kill. So that's a defining moment for Dexter. and the development of his own of his future and the making of him from this moment on. I love how Brian wears his orange hat every time. This scene right here, oof, there's lots of. Yeah, Deb just finished talking to Brian, or Bobby, and I love, Bobby's still there in spirit, helping her out and everything. Now, in this scene here, where you see Harry talking with Brian, this representation that is Harry has always been like that internal compass of Dexter that really stops Dexter from falling to the dark side. Um, Harry is that energy or that force that stops Dexter from falling into darkness or evil. And Brian's character basically represents evil. He's basically like the inner devil within Dexter. He's just the evil side of Dexter. So what Harry taught Dexter and the code and everything is actually preventing Dexter from not just getting caught, but also from falling down the path of evil. Harry has taught Dexter how to stray from the path of evil, not just how to not get caught and kill people. You know what I mean? So when you see this interaction between Harry and Brian, that was Brian at the bar. Well, I think everybody knew that actually. Like everyone picked up on that. But um so like yeah, so Harry so right here in this moment you really visually see what Harry has done for Dexter. Harry has gave Dexter a new way of living life, and he's given Dexter a way to live with what he has and not fall into evil or not go down the path of evil. So the fact that Harry left that within Dexter, um, shows that psychologically Dexter's what keeps Dexter away from his own evil side is what Harry left within him. And so, yeah, we see that physically here. Lost my train of thought and things got choppy. But it happens all the time with me, unfortunately. But hey, can't stop me from talking. I hope I'm still recording. Yes, still recording. So when you see Harry, I saved him from all that suffering. I saved Dexter from all of that. I gave him a life, a chance to thrive. And he never would have had that with you. That dialogue, and right here when he says two things can be true at the same time, and you can hate me for good reasons. Two things can be true at the same time is an amazing line because in this scene, there's actually two truths going on between Harry talking with Brian, but it also this is Dexter's internal monologue speaking to itself of what Harry represents is keeping what how evil is represented in him. So I love how the writers can keep two different realities going. And just yeah, and I know come on Harry, hug Brian. Just give him a hug. He's crazy, just hug him. Wonder how they found this actor for Brian. He's just so disconnected in the eyes in all the right ways. I'm Maria Gonzalez. No, oh, okay. This is Nikki's parents or mom and dad. Yeah. So one thing I also love about that scene with Dexter, with Harry and Brian, is that Dexter always said that Harry taught him the code to not get caught, so Dexter can get people that slip between the cracks. But having a different relationship with Harry now that he's dying, um, really shows that Dexter has a different relationship and connection with Harry, so his memories also manifest differently. And now here's Spencer. I loved you, and he was crazy, kicking the door down. In this scene, Spencer says, "You told me Nikki was mine." Apparently, Nikki isn't Spencer's actual biological son. That is very deep because this gives another layer to Dexter in a sense of Spencer is not related to Nikki, same as how Dexter is not related to Deb or Harry. And then here's Dexter looking at the TV, and they mention cutting bodies up, and he gets his or woman gets cut with a chainsaw, and gives him a an idea. Oh, and yep, people have just come in. Hopefully they stop talking very loud. The recorder doesn't pick them up. Um. Oh, so yeah, Spencer's not related to Nikki, same as how Dexter's not related to Harry or Deb, but there is still a dynamic of family there, and how family isn't always about blood. Family can mean something much more. Um, how family affects us, how families shape us, what family does for us is what makes a family. It's not just about biology. And Dexter learning that lesson is a lesson that Spencer teaches Dexter, that it's more of a the sense of would Dexter Dexter choose the path of his biological brother versus his adopted family. And I guess I can't really say choice because it's not like he really has that choice. It's more like oof, it's hard for me to explain that dynamic between the two, but there's a lesson there of blood family versus what someone means to us. And Dexter accepting that family is more than just biology, it's just how he feels and how he lives in the world and how he survives. Learning that lesson comes from killing this side of his psyche that believes that biological family is what's more important than spiritual family. So Dexter actually killing Spencer in this scene right here represents Dexter's internal monologue making that choice of choosing the feeling of family versus biology, which means that Dexter choosing Brian in season one never was an option because this was Dexter's resolve. You got to know knowing that you failed as a cop, as a husband, as a human being, and you see Dexter's talking to himself. He sees that reflection in his eyes. He says, "No, this isn't about Harry." Makes you wonder, did Spencer actually know about Dexter's darkness? You were a psychotic piece of Dexter. You don't deserve that badge. You don't deserve to live. And he's saying to get it over with. And there's the blood going across the camera. I love how they do the unfocused blood. I honestly thought in this scene that Dexter was going to stab him in the chest and have him choke on his own blood, as a symbolism of how Spencer choked, um, his victims in water. So I thought, with liquid. So I thought Dexter was actually going to stab him in the chest right here and have him suffocate in his own blood, choke in his own blood. And that's how Dexter started doing that method, stabbing in that spot. At least that's what I thought, um, was going to happen. That's how he learned how to do that. And then when he threw the bags down, I was like, wait a minute, are the bags going to come back up? How is Dexter going to weigh the bodies? But maybe if they make a second season, maybe that's where that comes from. The fact that he throws the bags down there in the water, but they still resurface. And then maybe in the second season of Original Sin, if they make it, Dexter then has to learn about the rocks to tie down the bags. Bit of, And I love how Dexter cuts up the body on the boat, and there's all the blood all over the boat. Beautiful shot, beautiful scene. Again, it's important to really show that Dexter is not perfect, and to show that there are baby steps to learning things, and it does create a sense of realism of the situation and what's going on, which is something that was missing in the original Dexter when he went after a lot of his victims. And here's Harry. If it wasn't for me, Spencer would be caught, and the cube would have been rescued. Oh man. Sorry, Dexter, I didn't listen to you. Yeah, at this point, Harry's not even fighting. He's just going he's just going for it. Um yeah, Dexter says Spencer won't hurt anyone else ever again. And despite, something like this is like, man, Spencer was who he was. He was created, his darkness was created and all that, but to really accept that, that your best friend, someone you've known for so long, someone that you've known for so many years, and it's just trying to accept that they're gone, that they're dead, that some situations are just too much to bear. It and it's just not worth trying to see if it's good or bad. Um, okay. Sorry, as I predicted, um, sometimes you just can't try to understand if a situation is right or wrong. It's just too much to bear. And this is a real conversation. He wasn't born a monster, he was created, he became one. And it's a lot for Harry to take in. And in this moment, it's a lot for Harry to try and decide how is he going to, handle this moving forward. He wasn't born evil. Harry knew the best of Dexter. Harry knew Dexter's innocence, and all he wanted to do was hug Dexter and protect Dexter and love him. And, Harry's just going to lie to himself and, say, you know what, I'm going to not let that evil here into the situation, into my son's life. I want to keep him away from darkness. Harry coming to that resolve of keeping Dexter from the truth actually came from rejecting Brian on that roof. The symbolism of that was everything that Brian represented in Dexter's past. Harry wanted to keep it away and keep it within himself, locked within himself. Um, so that's what that was about. And Harry, kept those apart. And he says that I'm proud of you for who you've become, for choosing to do the right thing. That happiness, that sense of humanity that Harry has just reassured within Dexter, it allows Dexter to reconnect with his humanity and understand that he's not just a monster, he's not just a dark person. Harry says, you made a good choice, you made a good decision. You made this decision that you made defined who you are, which at your core is a good person. You will always choose a choice that is the core of who you are, but you may not always know who you are, You may not always know or think if you're a good or bad person. But Harry assured Dexter that yes, he is good. And as he reassures Dexter that he is good, Dexter reconnects with his humanity, purifies his humanity, has a sense of peace within his humanity, and understands, oh, I'm not just evil or bad or chaotic, there is good. And that allows Dexter's humanity, which is represented in Deb, to reconnect with what made it all good. So now you see Deb and Sophia reconnecting. That shows that Dexter's human side is reconnecting with its authenticity. And he doesn't make sense. Why would Spencer kidnap this kid, just to kidnap his own kid? It just doesn't make sense. And LaGuardia, he says they're all just random deaths that weren't connected. And LaGuardia's like, why would he do that? There's something fishy going on here. Yeah. I'd feel good. And now he's been given a promotion. Dexter's like, yay, a new laminate, a new thingy to wear with new colors and stuff and textures. Right, no more coddling. He just she slaps the files back on his desk. I get in early. I always said you were the third best forensics person. It's funny, there's only three forensics people there. Yeah, forensics is actually fairly new to the world. Dexter looks at the files. New playmates. He spins around in his chair, the iconic chair. And of course, Dexter looking up at the camera and winking. That's important. That's an interesting Easter egg, a reference to when Dexter looks at the camera in the first season. So now you see Bobby coming out in his wheelchair. Very similar recreation of when Harry was in his wheelchair and Dexter and Deb was pushing Harry out, and it was like they were celebrating the fact that, Dexter saved a life. He saved Harry's life. And now this scene being recreated shows Dexter saved a life and what that means, the gravity of what that means, that some people deserve to live. It's not just people deserve to die, it's that people deserve to live. So now Dexter's understanding that who he is, the root of who he is, it's not just about killing, it's just something a lot deeper, a lot better, a lot, he's killing to help save people and help, people survive and live. But, when you get into that, you have people who, anyway, so, you have people who want to use that revelation for the wrong reason. But, in this sense of the show, Dexter is understanding that, it is a messed up situation, but, it is what it is. And now here's Deb going to school. In the original show, they said that Deb wanted to be a cop so that way she could, be her dad would be proud of her and give her attention because his focus was always on Dexter. And you can see that's alive, as she said right here. You two can keep me in your conversations now, or you two have to include me in your conversations. But yeah, it also shows that she wants to be a strong woman in the world. That's what you did when you wanted to show strength in the world. You did that. You made the choice to be the change in the world. Nowadays, people just demand that the change happens. They try to force people to look at their point of view in life and accept them for who they are. And it's like, you can't do that. If you want the world to change, you have to learn how to be that change yourself with every decision that you make, with every action that you do. And when people witness it, then they understand it and they get used to it, and it's not forced upon them. And that's how you change the world. You don't just force people to do it. And you don't say, I don't like the way you look at me, or I think you're hateful, so I'm going to hate you. It doesn't work that way. I'm sorry, it just doesn't. And just, if you want it to be loved and accepted, then you have to learn to love and accept. When you start making things all political and stuff, then, then you become a political piece on a chessboard. But you can't do that. You have to learn how to be a human. And now he says the code is yours now. So now that Harry tells Dexter the code is yours, now Dexter, it's like a revelation, understanding that the code was given to Dexter, but at the end of the day, Dexter's like the master of it now, and Dexter can do with it as he pleases, as he wishes, but Dexter needs to learn how to take responsibility for who he is, for every action that he does, everything that he does from now on. He has to learn to take responsibility. He's really good at not dancing well, pretending not to dance well. And this is the resolve I said earlier from killing Spencer. Every villain that Dexter kills in this show psychologically represents him killing that part of himself and him finding or becoming something better, But even though he embraces life and happiness and family and accepts family for what it is spiritually, you still have this sense of evil that is inside of him lingering somewhere. And you see that staring at him through the window. I can't wait for Dexter Original Sin. Dexter had the 9 layers of hell. Every season of the original Dexter revolved around the 9 layers of hell. Each season was one layer in order. The first one was Limbo, which is why it was so weird and eerie. The last one was the 9th, which was the 9th season, which was New Blood, which was the realm of ice. So in Dexter Resurrection, Dexter is out of hell. So I can't wait to see what Resurrection is about. Yay, Dexter Resurrection. Thank you, Clyde Phillips, for everything. And thank you for the fans, people who listen to this. Thank you.